Let's solve this equation. Looking at the equation, I see that the highest power of the variable is 2, which makes it a quadratic equation. It's also a quadratic equation which contains all 3 of the terms. So that typically leads me towards using the quadratic formula. If I'm very good at factoring, I could look at that trinomial for a few moments to see if it's factorable. But if you again struggle with factoring, the coefficient of the squared term isn't 1, so that makes the factoring a little more complicated. So stick with the quadratic formula. But one thing I do notice, every term here is divisible by 2. If I were to divide both sides of the equation by 2, that would actually make a polynomial with smaller coefficients, which might make my use of the quadratic formula less involved. It might make it easier to simplify the radical expression if I've cut down on the size of those coefficients. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 2. 4x squared divided by 2 would give us 2x squared. Plus 14x divided by 2 gives us plus 7x. Plus 12 divided by 2 gives us plus 6. And 0 divided by 2 is still 0. So now, if you wanted to try factoring, you might look at that quickly to see if it's factorable. But let's just use the formula. So x is equal to the opposite of b, so that would be negative 7, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 7 squared, minus 4 times the a coefficient, which is 2, times the c coefficient, which is 6. All of that over 2 times the a coefficient. Seven squared is 49, minus 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 6 is 48, over 2 times 2 is 4. So x equals negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 1 over 4. Ooh, that was nice. 49 minus 48 gives us 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. The radical expression is gone, which means I have solutions that are rational solutions. So I'll go ahead and finish out the arithmetic to find those 2 solutions. So one solution is negative 7. Can't write them all at the same time. Negative 7 plus 1 over 4. And the other solution is negative 7 minus 1 over 4. Negative 7 plus 1, that would be negative 6. So negative 6/4, which is negative 3/2, is one of our solutions. Negative 7 minus 1 would be negative 8. So that's negative 8 over 4, which is negative 2 for our other solution. And since these turned out to be rational solutions, remember that actually tells us that the original polynomial was factorable. But if, again, you have trouble factoring, the quadratic formula can take you to that solution as well.